Let me now bring in Pauline Hanson, founder and leader, of course, of One Nation. She joins us from Scenic Rim in Queensland. Thanks for joining us, Pauline. I want to get on to immigration in just a moment, but I want to show you something you might not have seen. It's just been to air on Channel 10's The Project. It's your sparring partner in the Senate, the rogue senator now, Lidia Thorpe, recounting an exchange she had with you in the Senate. Here's Channel 10.
What did you say to Pauline in the Senate?
Am I allowed to say that on telly?
You can say whatever you like.
I told her off because she was just being outright rude and nasty, and she was baiting me the whole time I was doing my speech.
Oh my gosh.
So the only comeback I had for someone like that with how she responded to me was, like, off, Pauline. Really? Just off.
Ah, charming stuff, Pauline. Is that how you recall it all?
No, it's not actually. I have nothing to do with her. She actually insisted on sitting beside me in the Parliament. Jackie Lambie moved to give her that seat beside me, and I complained to the President about it, and also I went to Jackie Lambie, who actually still moved for Lydia because she wanted to sit down beside me. Chris, I have no respect for the woman. I have no time for her whatsoever. I do not acknowledge her. I don't believe she should be in the Parliament at all. I think she's a confused little girl who hasn't grown up. She's seeking attention, and like I said, I don't respect her. I have no time for her. Just look at the footage on the parliamentary library. You can see, and she says I bait her all the time. Chris, she's told me to go back where I came from. She's shirt thrown at me in the Parliament, come up to me. She's tried to intimidate me. She's called me a white supremacist in her speech and pointed to me. You know, she needs to actually have a look in her own backyard before she starts having a go at me. Like I said, I think she's seeking attention from me and I won't give it to her.
But she's saying she told you to F off in the Senate. You don't recall those words?
Yeah.
She did?
Yes, she did.
I've got to tell you, it raises again with me, I think, the most important question about Lidia Thorpe, and she couldn't have put it better herself.
What kind of person do you think I am?
Yeah, Pauline Hanson, I think we all know the answer to that question now. Let's get on to the policy issue I want to talk to you about. You've been agitating on immigration for a long while, especially when we have such a housing crisis in this country. Surveys out today, a survey in the 9 newspapers showed that 59% of Australians think we're aiming to bring in too many people into this country. This is fascinating because we are looking at numbers in the coming years higher than we've had since the post-war era, also at a time when there is a housing crisis and we're expecting unemployment to increase in coming months.
Chris, I think it's even higher than 59% when I talk to people and I see how they're struggling. People can't get housing, the cost of living. It's just hard for people even to own their own home, to buy their own home, because of the high immigration levels we're bringing in, around about 7,000 a week. Then we have foreign investors buying up our housing to the tune of about $7 million a day. And we can't keep going the way that we're going. And people have had enough. This is all due to government policies. So they're saying, you know, stop the immigration till we actually can give the services to the people of Australia that are here already. Look, the hospitals, the schools, the nursing homes, everything is bursting at the seams. Even our roads, our infrastructure, we can't cope with it anymore. Yet they are blind to it. The politicians are blind to it. And I'm saying not only the Albanese government, but the Libs were exactly the same as well. And I used to always have a go at them about high immigration levels that they were bringing into the country.
Well, it's not just about raw numbers, right? We've got to be very careful about this because there are some industries who face skill shortages. We need some particular people to fill some of those gaps. So we've got to reduce the numbers. They can't be as high as what's been projected, but we've got to make sure we do bring in the right people who can help us address some of these skill shortages and things like the housing crisis that we're confronting.
Chris, we've got a lot of people, probably around about 950,000 or 1 million people who are unemployed in this country. You've got to ask yourself the question why. A lot of these people are illiterate, what I've been told by the teachers. They've been pushed through the educational system. They're just on a life of welfare. They have no intentions of going to get a job. They've made themselves unemployable. The government is quite happy to do that, and we're still paying them to sit around and do absolutely nothing. They're not productive. So because they don't want to work, we're bringing in migrants that are adding to our housing problem and our infrastructure problem in Australia. That's stupid. You don't keep heading down that same path. Then you've got to address the welfare system. Why are we having people on it, fourth generation, and also people who are on it for 20, 30 years, and they're not asking the tough questions? We have to address that.
Yeah, well, I think there's going to have to be a shift in this. I mean, this poll is important, the housing crisis is important, and unemployment numbers are out tomorrow, and certainly if there's a tick up there, that's going to be a warning shot that these immigration projections are just too high for this country right now.
Chris, all they're doing is propping up the economy because productivity is dropping because industries and manufacturing were bringing imports from overseas. So they use it. They always have done. They use immigration to prop it up. And more migrants you bring in, big businesses love it because they're selling more product, more white goods, and therefore the cost of living escalates as well. So it's all round. It's a catch-22. But the people who suffer are the Australian citizens. Can't get housing, can't get a roof over their head, can't get in to see a doctor when they need it, can't get the assistance that they need, can't get into hospitals and the healthcare that they require. This is a problem that we have, and Australians have to understand and stop voting with your feet and start voting with your head and thinking about next time when you vote, and send a clear message to the major political parties. It's about your life, your way of life in this country, that so many people want to come here because they can see that we have a wonderful way of life. But it's the way it's going. You won't be for the next generation, I'm telling you now.
Thanks for talking to us, Pauline. Appreciate your time as ever. Pauline Hanson there on immigration. She's been talking about it for a long while, of course, but I think we are facing a crunch point in this country with those numbers that are forecast. Unemployment going up, housing crisis, we've just been through it all. And I think the government's got to be very careful about this, and the coalition, how they manage this.
Quick favour, if you are the kind of person who loves Australia and loves to be up to date on what is going on in our country's politics, hit that subscribe button. It helps us keep this channel going. 90% of viewers have not yet, and it would mean the world to us if you did. Thank you. Now back to the show. 7,000 people every single week. That is not a music festival. That is Australia's immigration intake. And Pauline Hanson just walked onto a television set and asked the question both major parties have spent a decade pretending does not exist. Where exactly are all these people supposed to live? G'day, and welcome to Oz Politics Report. Hanson sat down for a televised interview recently, and what followed was less a political discussion and more a controlled demolition. She tore through immigration, housing, welfare and a certain independent senator with the precision of someone who has been waiting 30 years for the national conversation to finally catch up. Let us address the personal first, because it was genuinely impossible to ignore. Senator Lydia Thorpe. Hanson did not dance around it. She called her a confused individual who was not grown up, accused her of deliberately baiting and intimidating her in the Senate chamber, and stated plainly she does not acknowledge her as a legitimate parliamentarian. Hanson claims Thorpe called her a white supremacist and told her to go back where she came from, and she is directing every viewer to the parliamentary library footage to verify it themselves. Whether you find that refreshing or horrifying probably tells you everything about which side of Australian politics you already call home. But the fireworks with Thorpe were merely the opening act. The main event was immigration, and Hanson served it without garnish. 7,000 arrivals per week, $7 million a day in foreign property investment, nearly 1 million Australians out of work. Hanson connected those three numbers with a straight line and argued the arithmetic is no longer up for debate. Hospitals are bursting at the seams, schools are oversubscribed, roads are gridlocked, young Australians can't buy a home because they're bidding against international capital, while their own government taxes nearly half the cost of construction before a single slab is poured. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe. It keeps us independent and brings you the stories the Canberra Press Gallery will not touch. Hanson did not stop at housing. She turned her sights on the welfare system with equal ferocity. Fourth-generation dependency, a workforce development failure so complete that large numbers of Australians can't read well enough to hold a job, and an economy so structurally unproductive that integration has become the only thing propping up demand. Her argument lands like a hammer. Big business collects the consumption dividend. Ordinary Australians absorb the cost in suppressed wages, inflated rents, and hospital waiting lists that now stretch into months. Then came the political verdict, and it spared nobody. Both parties are complicit. Labor and the Coalition have jointly presided over an immigration program that prioritises volume over planning, and neither has the courage to press pause until infrastructure catches up to population. Her policy demand is not abolition, it's a temporary halt, followed by skilled migration targeted only at genuine shortages, like the very construction workers needed to build the homes Australians can no longer afford.
She closed with a line that landed somewhere between a campaign promise and a prophecy. Vote with your head, not your feet. If Australia does not change direction soon, the country your parents handed you will not be there to hand to your children. Thank you for watching Oz Politics